Hi, I'm Adam Sinowskis, and what we're going to do is we're going to take Danae, our athlete, through the hip hinge. The hip hinge is one of the most important things for the deadlift, kettlebell swings, and other movements. Ultimately, what we want to do is we want to load the hips to spare the lumbar spine. And ultimately, our first movement is going to be the most important movement. So Danae, we're going to take you through a couple hip hinge progressions. So all I want you to do is just right here, okay, next to the wall, just narrow stance. I just want your very first movement be while you have flex legs, butt back, and then forward. Butt back, forward. And remember, it's not a squat, so get a little bit closer to the wall right there. And just while you're staying in this plane, okay, while you're staying in that sagittal plane of motion, just butt back. I'm sticking my butt out. Yes. And then back. Good. Yeah. Sticking butt back. You're not squatting. Good. One more. One more. Good. Now step 2 inches away from the wall. Good. Same thing. Not squatting, but just going back. Good. And forward. One more. Butts just straight back. Straight back. Straight back. Good. Perfect. So that's progression 1. That could take, I don't care if it's a day, if it's a week, don't move on until you feel really, really comfortable with that. Now we're going to go with the dowel. Okay, so Danae, what you're going to do is you're going to put this dowel. We want 3 points of contact. We want this dowel touching your head, okay? Traps, okay? And sacrum here. We want the hand bend right here near the lumbar and then right in the cervical. We want to keep the 3 points of contact. We want that straight spine, right? We always set the spine first. Neutral alignment, and then all I want you to do tonight is hip hinge back, right here. This is your first move right here. So we're not squatting, okay? We're just hip hinging back, okay? We gotta also keep in mind, whatever muscle loads first, loads maximally. So if we make this, Danae, as our first movement right here, if we just start to use our quads, okay, those quads are gonna take the majority of the weight, and we're gonna put a lot of pressure on the knees. So we wanna load the hips, okay? Whatever muscle loads first, loads maximally, let's load those hips. Here, squeeze. Here, squeeze. Give it a try. So we're just taking through the progressions. Lower the hand, right to right here. Good. And now keep your head. Good. We're setting spine. We're in contact here. We're in contact with the butt. Hand up a little bit, more near the lumbar. Do you feel those 3 points of contact? Always ask the athlete, do you feel those 3 points of contact? You want him to know exactly where they are. Now we're going to hip hinge back. Yes. And forward. Good. Let's take him through 5 or 6. Good. Back. Good. Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Good. We want to make sure we don't extend too much. We want to make sure we don't extend too much. One more time. Here. And just all in the hips. It's all in the hips. We're not focusing on the back. It's all in the hips and forward. And at 3 points of contact, they're perfect. Tonight, great. Okay, so now what you're going to do for the next progression is we're going to teach you how to set the brace. Okay? It all depends on what type of movement, the amount of intensity that we do set the brace. A plank would be a little brace. This we want maximal brace, all out brace. So we went through some of our diaphragmatic breathing, through our supine breathing drills. We've talked about setting the brace. Okay, so same exact thing today. Now what you're going to do is okay, now we're going to breathe behind the brace. Breathe behind the brace. So everything stays exactly the same. When you set your brace. Neutral spine, good. Here we go. So, get that belly big. So we're going to have to do it 2 more times because his stomach went and we want it out. There we go. And then, good, one more. Good. Now you set the brace. Now he's going to breathe behind that shield. We have the intra-abdominal pressure, that balloon, okay, effect. And here we go. Now, butt back. We are loading the hips to spare the spine. Good. Perfect. And again, for this, you can sit here, you can do weeks of this. We need to make sure that this movement is the most optimal movement. Okay, we cannot take any compensation here. He needs to be able to load those hips, So we'll take him through. And remember, we're going to have this athlete deadlifting. So he needs to make sure that he has the most intra-abdominal pressure, that this brace is efficient, so that when we do load him with weight, we know that this spine is in a safe position. Go ahead and go through 2 more tonight. Yeah, perfect. And good, so now we're going to go to the next progression. And remember, we're not taking anything else out tonight. We're still adding in the hip hinge, okay? We're still adding in the belly brace. Now what we're going to do is, just like we learned with the squat, with the deadlift, we're going to add torque, okay? We want to almost act like that we take our feet, okay, and that we start to supinate them, okay? So we're going to just, right here, we're tearing the paper. I have a piece of paper here, we're going to tear it. See where I'm here, I have no tension, I want to create tension. I want to open up, okay? So we're going to sit here, everything's the same. So I'm watching, I have no tension. Tension. And breathe out, and good. Everything's all set. He set his brace. I know it's a lot for this athlete to remember, but he's an all-state quarterback, so he should be able to remember it a lot. So now what we're going to do is we want to make sure tension on the knees, right? Here we go. So we're creating a lot of tension. We're tearing that paper, and all he's doing is loading hips. We are loading those hips maximally. Good. All right, so perfect. So now the next step we're going to take him through, again, I don't care how many days, how many weeks that takes. The next thing is now today we want to teach you how to finish. Everything's all about finishing. So the biggest thing is we not only want to activate our glutes, we want to activate our lats, okay? So strong, bro. Slope the bar, Smitty. Alright, so what we're going to do is we go through the normal steps. We still have the 3 points of contact, okay? We can have the narrow stance, okay? I'd rather have you shoulder width like this, not too wide, okay? 3 points of contact. Set the brace. Alright, I'm externally rotating my knees, okay, or just pushing it out. And I come, hinge the hips. Now when I come forward, squeeze glutes. Squeeze core, squeeze lats, and then back. Here, and squeeze. I want you, at every muscle in your body, to get tight. Your hammies, your quads, okay? Everything. Core, back, lats, glutes. Here we go. Make sure he's squeezing. You can come in here for a little kinesthetic cueing. Okay, we're raking, right? Good, again. See how good he is with setting the brace? He's going through his steps. He's now adding torque, okay, with his knees. He's loading those hips, and he's going to come through, and he's going to finish. He's going to put the nails in the coffin. Okay, squeezing here. Good, perfect. All right, so the last one. Once we feel confident that they got all that, what we're going to do is we're going to add in a load. Okay, we can start with the kettlebell. We can start with the dumbbell. We're gonna say hypothetically, he's went through all his progressions with this. Right? Everything looks absolutely perfect with this. Okay, if you have an athlete where you can start in here on a bench, and then you can progressively bring that bench down, we're gonna say Danae, being the high-level athlete he is, that we've already went through all that, and everything looks really, really good. So what we're gonna have Danae do is we're gonna have Danae straddle, okay? This dumbbell or kettlebell, whatever you want to call it. I know it's a dumbbell, but let's just say for the drill, kettlebell, because that's what I would recommend. Okay? And we want our heels lined up right here. Alright? So I don't want you like this. I want you to come right here. And what I want you to do is everything we just went through. We know that we want that straight spine. Now you don't have that dowel, okay, so we want to make sure right away we don't go like this into cervical extension. We want to pack the shoulders, okay, go through the brace, get the maximal torque, tear that paper apart, load the hips, okay, and then back up. I don't even want you to pick it up. here, pick up, squeezing everything, lats, hammies, quads, everything squeezed, and then hip hinge back. And he's gonna do every other one. Touch, and then pick up. That's it. Alright. Good. Perfect. Load the hips, load the hips, load the hips. Perfect. And he comes right up. He squeezes, everything squeezed. Right, biceps, femoris, rectus, forearms. Everything looks good. Here we go. Loading the hips. He hinges the hips. He hinges the hips. Perfect. The only thing I saw was a little cervical extension. I would tell him just to pack his neck. Okay, but not bad at all. Now he's going to hinge the hips. Back down. And we want to make sure that he puts that right back at where he picked it up, and he did. So I'm Adam Stanowskis, and that is some of the hip hinge progressions. Thank you so much.